It's that time of year when Athlon and Lindy's and others are coming out with their predictions for the upcoming college football season. But my favorite book to go to, and I have no affiliation with this guy, never met him, know nothing about him other than his preseason college football preview. I think preseason and preview kind of mean the same thing. Anyway, Phil Steele. I bought his digital magazine today for the preview of the college football season 2025. And y'all, I'm going to tell you, the man is high on Clemson. I'm not talking about like, hey, man. I'm talking about, well, I don't know what he does in his spare time, but he is high on Clemson. And I'm not talking about just ranking. You need to hear where he has Clemson's individual offensive and defensive units ranked. And it's going to tell you why I'm excited for this upcoming season. But he breaks it down as only Phil Steele, he can do. I'm going to dive into that in just a second. Welcome to the channel. Glad you're hanging out with me. We're getting closer and closer to college football. I know we want it. We're just dying for it. But if you like talking college football and or you like talking Clemson football, I hope you'll subscribe. It is free, and I do appreciate it. Now, I'm going to go ahead and tell you, I respect what Phil Steele does, so I'm not just going to offer you every little detail that he gives about Clemson football. I'm not going to sit here and read off everything to you, but I am definitely going to give you the highlights of where Phil Steele has each individual unit, meaning like quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers, etc., where they are ranked. And I think that this is going to take some of you who you have some PTSD from a few seasons ago. We know what season we're talking about, the 2023 season. Clemson had high hopes. I had high hopes for Clemson in 2023, but I broke one of the fundamental rules of trying to be an intelligent fan. You first and foremost must have good coaching. I'm not talking about Dabo is there. I'm talking about Dabo has a complete staff. Now, I'm not saying that staff is completely in place, but it's the best we've had in years. And the pieces that have been hired over the past few years, especially the past 13, 14 months, give or take a month, as a lot of us, including someone like me who was burned in the 2023 season, has me optimistic. But Phil Steele lays it out quite well. So let's dive in to what Phil Steele says. And I'm going to tell you this. This guy last year predicted Georgia and Ohio State to be number 1 and number 2. Ohio State went on to win the national championship. He picked Clemson preseason to be number 12. That was about right. That was about right once the dust settled, 12 through 16, somewhere in there. I can't remember their final ranking. I was too excited that Tom Allen was, coming on staff. But I'm going to tell you this. He's pretty doggone high on Clemson. Of course, in the preseason rankings, the forecast for Clemson in the ACC, he has Clemson ranked number 1. Last year, he had Clemson ranked number 1. Now, I know for some of you who are going to be pessimistic, you're going to say, well, he had Florida State number 2. Well, I don't think anyone except God knew that Florida State was not only going to not reach number 2 in the ACC, they would have won only 2 games. Now, for some of you who are like, hey, man, I didn't have faith in DJ and that situation down there. I get it. But only 2 wins? I mean, come on, y'all. This year he has Clemson at number 1. If you want to find out who he has 2 through 17, it's sad that there are 17 teams in the ACC and 2 of them are in California. No offense, y'all. You can go look that up yourself. Again, I'm going to try to honor what he does. He puts a lot of work into it. But I'm telling you, I'm looking right now at the first team all ACC team. And he's got a decent amount of Clemson players on this team. You go to second team, again, Clemson players there. But He has Clemson at number 1 in the preseason for the ACC. Now you're like, okay, Brian, the ACC is pure garbage. And to that, I say, absolutely. The ABC is basically the ABC League. It is nothing to write home about. No one should take a ton of pride in the ACC. Sure, you can't help that your conference is falling apart. Clemson can't help that. Clemson can't help all of that bunch of stuff. But at the same time, if Clemson won the SEC or the Big Ten, sure, it would be a bigger honor than if they win the ACC. But you win the conference that you're in. There we go. I hate being so sugary sweet on that because it's just kind of annoying. Pardon me if you're hearing me click through. I'm trying to get. I literally just bought this. This preseason book by Phil Steele. So you're actually going through it with me. But as soon as I saw who he had ranked where, as far as quarterbacks and positions, I'm telling you guys, I was really, really just blown away. And I said, I have to go live now. So here's the biggie for me. This is Phil Steele's 2025 top individual units. So if you're familiar with Phil Steele, you know what's coming. If you're not, let me just break it down for you. Phil Steele will break down each position like quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers. Then he'll go to the offensive line. He groups the offensive line. He'll group the defensive line, the linebackers, the secondary, etc. And he will rank them. Where are they ranked for their position? Now, this can be very interesting because most of the time when you see teams with most of their positions on their team ranked in the top 10, the top 15, he's doing top 15. That spells success, or should spell success, for that team. Remember, expectation is a compliment. If no one expects anything of you, they believe you're a loser. All right. Also, to quote CJ Stroud, I know he's an Ohio State guy, but that Ohio State guy can play. He's in the NFL tearing it up. CJ Stroud said something like this: pressure is a privilege. Okay. If you don't want pressure on you, you probably shouldn't be playing major D1 football. You probably shouldn't be coaching major D1 football. You shouldn't be making that money, the coaches, or NIL. You shouldn't be getting that special privilege. So if you want the privilege, you're going to have to take the pressure. But it's also a compliment. So there we go. Without further ado, whatever that means, Phil Steele's number 1 ranked quarterback for quarterback at position, quarterback unit, is Clemson. He talks about what I've been talking about for months, that this is year 3 with Garrett Riley and year 3 as a starter for Cade. And he has a backup who's been on the bench for a while, but he's been there for a while. Okay? If you want to go read all the in-depth analysis, again, I'm going to try not to say it anymore, but out of respect of what for what Phil Steele does, I am going to let you go buy the magazine and you can go look that up. Now, when we get to the running back room, Clemson is not in the top 15. All right? Now, some people would be all worried about that. Clemson's ranked number 31. But Phil Steele has some really good things to say about the running backs. Okay? Just want to let you know that he does. But remember, number 1 rated at quarterback, number 31 at running back. Okay? Phil Steele's top wide receiver room. Now, remember a couple of weeks ago, there was a media outlet who ranked Clemson in the top 3 in college football's receiver room. Phil Steele, according to him, Clemson is number 2. And you know who he's talking about. You know the guys he's going to mention. Moore, Wesco, Williams. Now, to be fair to him, he did not include Tristan Smith, the transfer who had an unbelievable spring game. Yes, a glorified practice, but my goodness, he showed out in that glorified practice with Wesco, Moore, and Williams on the field. Clemson ranked number 2 for wide receiver units in the country. Let's move on. Now, this right here, folks, you know what's coming with me. You know what I'm about to say. Thank you, Matt Luke. I mean, I could right now, I could go on a 45-minute rant on how Clemson could have a bunch of Matt Lukes on the team. And you're like, you make it sound easy. Remember when Dabo just called Matt Luke and he was in semi-retirement, retired from the Georgia Bulldogs after winning the national championship? You remember that? You must have forgot so you could keep your argument up that's actually wrong. He called up Matt Luke and he was like, hey kids, Dabo Swinney called me. Dabo could have a bunch of Matt Lukes. Clemson would already have 2 or 3 national championships more. Anyway, but this shows how powerful that is. Clemson's offensive line, yes, the offensive line, who just a few years ago couldn't block a good sneeze. Someone could fart and it could sneak by them. Clemson's offensive line, according to Phil Steele, is ranked number 2. Wow. What hiring an incredible coach can do for you. It's amazing. And a lot of these guys were there before then. That may be the most miraculous thing that I can tell you. So let's go back to on the offensive line. Let's just go back over this, kids. For everyone in the back, I want you to hear me. Clemson, number 1 ranked, according to Phil Steele, quarterback room. Number 31 at running backs, number 2 at receivers, and number 2 at offensive line. I think that number 31 at running back, considering we know Gideon Davidson is there, and David Easy's there, and Keith Adams Jr. is there. I don't blame Phil Steele for not really knowing that much about them. A lot of people's laughing at me going, you've said that y'all's running back room's actually stacked. No one knows that. Yet that is funny. Oh, you'll find out, and I hope you underestimate it, because with the number 1 quarterback room in the country, whether he's off a few spaces or not, top 3 definitely. The wide receiver room, top 3, top 2. Offensive line, top 3, top 2. And the number 31 running back room. If you know anything about football, that works out well for the running backs. Please underestimate them. Please, I beg you, underestimate them. Let's move to the defensive line. Tom Allen takes over, y'all. Tom flippin' Allen takes over this team. A man who knows what he's doing. A man who is brilliant. A man who is proven. Just like Matt Luke. Matt Luke is proven. These are guys, they come in and they talk about the success they've had with multiple teams. The defensive line, according to Phil Steele, is ranked number 2 in the country. Let's move to linebackers. You're like, Brian, you're moving a little faster through the defense. I'll get to that in just a second. Clemson's linebackers is ranked number 8, according to Phil Steele. Let's move to defensive backs. Clemson is ranked number, wait for it, kids, 3 at defensive backs, according to Phil Steele. That's right. That's right, young people. Now, I don't want to miss out on special teams. He has Clemson ranked number 55. I think he's talking about the complete and total package. I feel very good with Nolan Hooser. I mean, a guy who in the glorified practice, the spring game, kicked field goal, slipped and still drilled it, made it, and ended up on his butt and still made it. I mean, guy looks ridiculous. Okay. So, where does he have Clemson ranked in the preseason? Lindy's and Athlon, and it's, I can't remember which is which. One has Clemson ranked number 4. One has Clemson ranked number 5. I will buy those publications from time to time. If I'm perusing through the grocery store, like I was today, I'll pick it up, I'll glance at it. It's over there beside, a magazine with Joanna Gaines, in some majestic place she created, the Magnolia magazine. She's rich as crap. I mean, you got that, and you got a weird backwoods survival magazine, which, by the way, those are actually kind of cool. You got some magazines with, cars on them. It's great. Then I'm just going to leave it at that. But this guy right here has Clemson ranked number 2 in the country. Number 2 in the country. That's where he has Clemson. Now, do I believe everything is going to come to pass as he is laying it out? I mean, he gave you the reason he made them number 2. Because out of the, 17 returning starters Clemson has, he named most of their team a top 5 unit, top 3 actually. I mean, just to, I'll go backwards here because if you see me looking down, I have the digital format in front of me, so I'm having to click through it. I apologize for clicking noises. Yes, I need to spend $300 for a mouse that doesn't click that loud. I agree. That would be a great use of my money. Phil Steele's defensive backs. He has Clemson ranked number 3. Clemson number 2 for defensive line. He has Clemson ranked number 8 at linebacker. He has Clemson's offensive line ranked number 2. He has Clemson's receivers ranked at number 2. He has their running backs ranked at number 31. He has Clemson quarterback unit ranked at number 1. Boom. Now, let's stop here and let's ask ourselves, can Clemson, and I'm doing this for all the naysayers out there. I'm doing this for all the naysayers out there, the ones that are looking at me going, Brian, you're buying in too much. You have been the negative Nelly or whatever of Clemson football. It's just too negative for me. I need you to stop all the negativity. Folks, I'm going to tell you this. If Clemson football is the only bright thing in your life, you may need to get some help. You may be so. Maybe so. And I'm just telling you. But football is a pastime. It is a pastime unless you're one of the players or one of the coaches. It is a pastime. And we should be able to tell the truth about it. Up until recently, there has not been a lot to be super duper excited about for Clemson. Really, it hasn't. Last year was made a college football playoff. Yeah, so did Indiana. Saw what happened to them. So did Tennessee. You see what happened to them? So did Boise State. First time they play a real team, I'm sorry, they just got gobbled. I'd be very careful with what arguments I use. But this year, a bunch of returning starters. I've talked about this ad nauseum. Hiring Matt Luke, hiring Tom Allen. And Clemson faithful, I hope you'll hear me here. Dabo would make his life a lot easier if he had a bunch of Matt Lukes and Tom Allens around him. And maybe 1 or 2 former players around him. Or 1 or 2 former whatever around him. Get the very best in Clemson, South Carolina. Dabo, you'll go. You can match Saban. You will match Nick Saban and win national championships. The brand is that strong. It is that strong. If you would do that. I mean, just the few things I've said over the past few years. Hire unbelievable coaches, and all you have to do is just sit back and collect the national championships. He hires 2, and look already what's happened. Look at the offensive line from a team that I'm pretty sure some local 4A high schools would have given them a run for their money of knocking them on their butts. I mean, Charleston Southern did. Charleston Southern did back in 2023. I mean, I'm not picking on Tristan Lee, but he was a 5-star coming out of high school. And little old Charleston Southern knocked him backwards in the first half. And it happened all season long. Now this team looks better. Why? You hire one guru on the offensive line. So, make your life easier, hire the best, and you'll get results like this. Now, let's talk about a little bit. Now, as I said, I'm respecting what Phil Steele does. I'm going to be very careful. I very well doubt Phil Steele's going to see this video, but I would never want to offend him. And he's like, "Hey man, you're airing out, stuff on the internet that I would rather them buy my digital magazine." By the way, his digital magazine's $20. It's $20. And to me, it is really, really in depth, and you have to get used to some of his acronyms, but it is definitely one of the best. It's to me the best preview. I don't always agree with him on everything, but I agree with him a lot. So, again, I've talked about this. We have 8 returning offensive starters. We have 9 returning defensive starters. And a lot of people has asked me recently, why are you so high on Clemson? Why are you so jacked up on Clemson? There's people right now who love to make fun of Clemson, who has historically despised Clemson. There are people in major media, all the way down to small YouTubers, who has everything they want to say about Clemson, they say it. And then some. And it's all bad. But they're even predicting Clemson, if they do not make a true run into the playoffs and dominate the regular season, it is a failure. So, folks, for some of you who are sitting there going, "Brian, I think you're overreaching. Brian, I think you're getting caught up in the hype." I want you to timestamp this, and I want you to remember this today. If Clemson loses 3 games in the regular season, it is a catastrophic failure, and there's no way to turn it, twist it, unless they go to the college football playoff and win the national championship. I don't care if they make it to the college football playoff. If they win 3, or if they lose 3 games in the regular season, it's a catastrophic failure unless they go to the college football playoff after those 3 losses and win the championship. That's the only way it would erase it. Anything less would be a catastrophic failure. Now, let me make myself perfectly clear. With everything that Mr. Steele laid out, not me, him, which is the same thing that I've been saying for a long time now. I didn't go into rankings. I mean, that guy is just unreal. If Clemson goes in and loses 1 ball game in the regular season, I hate it, but they're not dead in the water at all. Ohio State lost 2 games last year, including to Michigan. Still went on and won the national championship. Okay, we know this. That's why you have a 12-team format. But if Clemson loses 1 ball game in the regular season and they go into the college football playoff and they make a solid run and they don't get blown out in any games, I hate that they didn't win the national championship, but that's more acceptable with all this talent here. With the better coaching. Clemson's coaching could be much better, folks. It could be much better. But Mr. Steele is laying this out quite well. And again, when people look at the 8 offensive returning starters, 9 returning defensive starters, it begins to click with you. And the seniority there. I mean, the players who have been at Clemson for some time, who has worthwhile experience, all the way to the young guys like Moore, Wesco, and Hooser. But these guys are unbelievable. Sammy Brown. These guys are unbelievable. They're young, but they're unbelievable. It tells you why guys like Phil Steele, why they're high on Clemson, why they believe that Clemson will not only win the ACC championship, but their units are ranked really, really high. I'm looking over his forecast for Clemson's offense and defense, and there's not really a way for me to quickly summarize this. I could have tried to read through it beforehand to summarize it, because as I said, I don't want to give anything away for him. You need to go buy his magazine. $20, and you get unbelievable insight. But I'm going to say this, and then I want to go to the comment section, and then I'm going to go shower and go to bed. This makes me even happier and even more excited. I was looking for a better word. Optimistic for this upcoming season. Because you see that Clemson has so many of the right pieces in place. What would make me feel even confident? What would you, maybe some of you ask yourself this, Brian, you've shied away from predicting a national championship. Why? I'm going to tell you why. And this is one of those areas where I just have to be honest. I believe in Luke. I believe in Tom Allen. I believe in a few others. Still, Clemson's coaching unit as a whole still has holes in it. Well, who do you think it is? And then every time I mention somebody, I get beat by a mirage of reasons why I'm wrong. That's fine, sir. That is fine. You and I don't have to agree, but we can look at recent history. We can look at recent history, and I can't make that up. You can turn blue in the face. You hold your breath because you're mad that I disagree with you. Maybe you are right. Maybe it's worth turning blue in the face. But I believe I would, if Clemson had a better coaching staff as a whole, I would predict a national championship. But right now, I need to see just them implement the talent they have. Tom Allen execute, and I believe he will. And the biggest thing for me is, will Garrett Riley open up the playbook? Not against Troy. We don't have to have him open up the playbook against Appalachian State. Troy, and get everybody all fired up after a 31-point loss. That's just goofy. I'm sorry. I know we're talking about high hopes for Clemson, but I'm just going to tell you, some of y'all got goofy. I mean, you literally forgot Clemson lost by 31 points 7 days earlier. And just because that he runs up 700 yards on the worst Appalachian State team that they fielded in years so bad they had to fire their alumni coach. And that made it all okay. It doesn't with me, pal. I do know football. I don't forget that easy. But if he goes in, opens up the playbook against LSU, South Carolina, Louisville, those teams, and he doesn't close it, he doesn't go conservative, he's got all the pieces. Just ask Phil Steele. I will feel better. I'm still holding my breath with Garrett Riley. I really am. I hope the best for him. And then at some of the positions, I still have questions. I still have questions. But anyway, I am excited because Clemson do have a lot of pieces together on the field, and just enough on the sidelines to where between their schedule and the talent, I believe they can get it. They can get a lot of things done and make have a really good season, win the ACC championship, which is a sleeper, and make a deep run into the college football playoff. Get to the comment section here. Good evening, Professor. Having a good day. Good to see you, Big John. I'm having a pretty good day. Had to work outside today. It was really hot. It wore me out. I'll have to say that. But Big John, thanks for supporting the channel. See the symbol beside his name? Y'all see that? That means he supports on a monthly basis. So if you want to subscribe, I hope you will. It's free. But you can support on a monthly basis, and Big John does that. $3 or $5 per month, you choose. Big John, thanks for supporting the channel. It's good to see you, my friend. Hands like Canelo. I hope I'm saying that right. Go Tigers. He left out Cole Turner. Is he insane? You're so funny, dude. Clemson alumni. What should we expect from the O-line in Matt Luke's second year? I feel like a better O-line talent is inexperienced. I mean, he has them ranked at number 2. I think they're definitely one of the better teams at the O-line just because of Matt Luke. And we saw what he did last year. I'm a big Matt Luke fan. If anyone knows Matt Luke, please let him know. I know he could care less. I'm just a guy, talking about Clemson football. But I'm going to tell you this. If I'm going to moan and groan about things I wish were changed. Let me tell you, you see how I am when I'm happy about things. Man, I praise him. I dote on him. I'm like, man, Matt Luke, that guy. And unless Tom Allen lays a golden turd, that guy's going to be unbelievable as well. See, I'm sorry. If the tire is flat on the car, I'm not going to act like it's running just fine and then call that just being a good fan. No. That's willful stupidity. I'm not up for that, even if it does deal with sports. Lander Josh, who does Steele have in the national title game? I have not looked at that. I tell you this. I would say go buy the digital magazine for $20. I haven't looked at it. Really, I haven't. But I would encourage you to check it out. We definitely played scared against Georgia. Yeah, scared to death. We can't do that. When you start playing the we can't do that game, we can't do that. Oh, we can't do it. Meanwhile, they've got their ears pinned back and there's nothing that scares them. Remember, it was 6-0 at halftime. I mean, it wasn't like they were some amazing offense in the first half. It's and people's like, okay, that was the last season. No, I want to make sure we learn from it. We need the offense to open up. Is it Dabo that Garrett Riley becomes conservative or just Garrett Riley? William, and thanks for the comment here. A lot of people has asked that question. A lot of people has offered their theories about who was calling plays and who, and people saying Dabo's not calling anything. It's all Garrett and this, that, and the other. William, I'm going to tell you, my friend, I have no clue, but I do know this. I do know two things. Sweeney has openly talked about that he was never really an X's and O's sort of guy. Okay, that's one. That he admitted. I'm just quoting him, It's like me quoting scripture, and I'm not comparing Dabo and the Bible, but to just give an example here, lighthearted, everybody chill out. But if I quote something Jesus says that you don't like, I didn't create it. Blame Jesus. And I don't mean that sacrilegious. I'm a Christian. So that's what I like to say to people when, you in love quote something the Lord said, and they're like, oh, what the? Well, you love Jesus, John 3:16 just a second ago. You know that Jesus said this other thing too that really ticks you off. I'm just quoting Dabo. Dabo said that he's not really a big X's and O's sort of guy. He said that a long time ago. So if he was helping call plays with Garrett, I don't know why, because even if you did win a national championship or two, that's not your forte, but building a really good team and allowing experts to do what they do, that's what you do. And people love you for it. They don't care that you don't call plays. I could care less. I could care less about that. Just put the right pieces there. But if it is Garrett, I'll tell you this, William, no one's beating down his door to get him to come coach for them. And he was having a pretty meteoric rise. Go look up Garrett Riley's coaching experience since about 2011. It's only 14 years ago. 2011, 2010, he was a high school football coach. And then he went to small school ball. And then, he shot up the ranks really quick. And then he got to Clemson. No one's beating down his door, right? No one's beating down his door. And I'm not talking bad about the guy. I'm saying if he really wants to be a head football coach at a reputable school, he has to open up this year. And I'm talking about against LSU. Again, not Troy. You don't have to be creative to beat Troy with this team. Spot the ball, line it up, beat the crap out of them. Next game, please. That's what you do. Against LSU, you're going to have to scheme. Against South Carolina, you're going to have to scheme. Against Louisville, Brom can coach. Against Brent Key in week 3, he's doing some really good things at Georgia Tech. They're a pain in the butt. Just ask Georgia. You're going to have to open it up. You're going to have to open up the playbook. When you get into the college football playoff, you're going to have to open up the playbook. If you jump out to a 21-point lead, don't take your foot off the pedal. Put them away. All right? Put them away. And this is different than if you were coaching hypothetically YMCA 8 and 9-year-old flag football, and you're running up the score on a bunch of 9-year-olds. That's not what I'm talking about. In college football, you put them away, and then once you see that they realize they're not coming back, then you can kind of take your foot off the pedal. That's what has to happen here. That's what I'm looking for. Definitely know he's a player's coach, but his recruiting should also spill over to getting the game-changing coaches as well. We'll see with Riley this year. Put them away is our 25 motto. That's exactly right. Folks, tell me, how do you feel about Phil Steele's assessment of Clemson? I mean, really, maybe you think he has some of their units ranked a little too high, but overall, the position where they're at, I'm telling you, it spells some really good things for Clemson. If you do have a hesitation, this year about the Clemson football team, what is it and/or who is it? I'd love to hear from you in the comments section. If you haven't subscribed, I hope you will subscribe. I know you hear me say that all the time. You hear everybody on YouTube say it. By the way, happy birthday to YouTube, 20 years. I wish I had got started. If I would have started many, many years ago, I wonder where this would be at. Now, I don't know, but I started 2 years ago, almost 3 years ago, and got a good little community here, and I appreciate everyone. If you haven't subscribed, I hope you'll subscribe. It's free. And if you know people who like Clemson football, like to talk college football, like to argue a little bit, but they keep it civil. They don't lose their mind. They realize that this is just a pastime. There's more important things in life. I hope you'll send them the video. Tell them, hey, here's someone that likes to have some fun too, talking about Clemson football. Y'all take care of yourself. I hope you're making it through. We're just a little over 2 months away from the big game, the season opener with LSU 7:30 in the real Death Valley. Y'all take care of yourself, and as always, go Tigers.